Oh, hello, Matthew. How are you?
What up? What up, Bob?
You know, just hanging out, having a good time.
How was your day?
Pretty uneventful. Had the day off.
Did you go to the gym?
Of course, bro. Every day. How was your day? You went to work. You probably tore up some concrete or something.
It was hot.
Yes.
We threw 4 pallets of sod.
That's not concrete. That's like the opposite of concrete.
Yeah, but where there's concrete, there's grass. Sometimes.
Is that a saying?
Just made that
It's
up.
like a really good. It's very wide.
The grass that grew from concrete.
The grass is always greener on the other side of the concrete, as they say.
So, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who, watched us so far.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please,
To our 5 subscribers, I
like
see
and
you.
subscribe.
Mash that button.
Yeah. Whoa, are we gonna do like cool like graphics? Like, yeah.
Yes. Eventually.
One day, in the near future.
I've hit 5 Easter eggs in this video.
5.
Be the first to find them and win a prize. What's the prize, Bobby?
You get a rain.
Shout out Rain.
Our unofficial non-sponsor.
Rain, if you're watching this, I've tried every flavor. I like almost all of them. And if you don't sponsor us, I'm still gonna drink them.
Yeah. I'm a blue Raz guy.
So, we've mentioned before that we're looking to have some guests, so we figured we'd do each other.
We're gonna do each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot. Giggity.
So, I'm gonna start off by getting to know Bobby here.
Let's rock and roll.
So I do know Bobby, but there are things I don't know. So this is legitimate. These are questions that I actually probably don't know the answer to, which is cool because you're gonna, watch us grow on camera.
I'm waiting for some questions.
So, what's your name?
Well, it's Robert Earl Jones Jr., but everybody calls me Big Bobby.
Before you were Big Bob, were you ever not a Big Bobby?
What was it, like probably 2003-ish? I was working at Outback Steakhouse, and the proprietor there started calling me Big Bobby. And no one had ever called me Big Bobby because I went by Bob in high school because I used to think that Bob made me sound older and more mature, and I've always been very, very immature. So
I called you Bob earlier.
I went by Bob. So when I started working at Outback, I felt like I was getting a little bit older.
How old were you?
I don't fucking know, in my 20s. And so I started going by Bobby because I felt like that sounded younger. And he started calling me Big Bobby. And I would walk in, he'd be like, Big Bobby Jones. And I was like, man, I really like that a lot.
It sounds great.
I really like that a lot. I sound like a wrestler or something. And I was fat, and I was like, I made an email, literally because that guy, his name was John Turner. He was the proprietor at Outback Steakhouse in Roanoke, Virginia.
Proprietor.
Yeah, he's like the GM.
Okay.
But they're not called GMs there. They're called proprietors.
Is Outback owned by
Bloomin' Brand? So they have
what's that company
Carrabba's,
that owns-
Outback, Bonefish, probably something else.
Yeah, but that's what they're called, a Blooming Brand?
It's the Bloomin' Brand, yeah. A Bloomin' Brothers brand or something. Something along those lines.
All right.
So yeah, but I wasn't always Big Bobby. Once I was Little Robbie, but nobody called me that. I was just like a little guy, and my mom calls me Robert. My Aunt Kim calls me Robert. But everybody else calls me Bobby.
So, Junior,
I'm a junior. My biological father, who is not in the picture. Shout out to dads who don't care. What?
Did he leave for cigarettes?
No, he just didn't love me from the get-go. My mom was actually his mistress.
And so you're a love child.
Yeah, like she had like a whole ass other family, and she was his mistress, and she tried to give me his name, hoping like maybe he would like be in the picture.
Well, if he did one good thing for you, Big Bobby Jones, right?
I mean, my name's Robert Earl Jones Jr., so it's kind of like not the best name in the whole world.
Sounds like the name of a person who played Darth Vader on Star Wars.
It sounds like the name of a serial killer, if you want to talk about it. Like, I'm a white, muscular male with a really serial killer name, like Robert Earl. Today on the news, Robert Earl Jones Jr. Yeah, it's scary.
My middle name is Dwight, so...
Matthew Dwight
We
Collins.
have, like, cool, like old man middle names. We could call it the Earl and Dwight show.
Oh, we should not.
Or Twirl.
Twirly twirly.
Alright, so let's, what were you like as a child? What were you into? What did you do? We'll start with, like, from the age of 1 to 10, like, what did that look like for little Robbie?
I was a mama's boy.
Okay.
Big time mama's boy. I've always been real into animals. I was a real awkward, annoying little fucker. Like, I think about it now, I was what they call ADD, but I think I just need an exercise and to, like, run. I think the biggest thing kids need is not to sit in a classroom, but to, like, be physical. Anyways, so I was diagnosed with, like ADHD or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, so I've been on Adderall. I was on Adderall and Ritalin, like, all as a kid. Like I said, real annoying, real obnoxious.
Did you dislike it? Like, taking it where you...
The Ritalin I did a lot.
You disliked it?
I disliked the Ritalin. It made me, like, very, very moody. I mean, the Adderall did too, but the Adderall was I was less moody, I guess. I don't know. Because I was on Adderall forever. But I'd get grumpy with the Adderall too, especially if you interrupted my focus. Like, if I was, like, hyper focused on something with the Adderall and you, like, intervened. My mom was a hairdresser when I was that age.
Did you have any hobbies?
I played soccer.
Okay, soccer.
I liked Ninja Turtles and toys. Real into Ninja Turtles. So when I was, like, I don't know how old I was, like 7 or 9, somewhere around that age, and I was a real heavy sleeper, and I, like, went to sleep in my bedroom. It was like a normal room, and when I woke up, I had Ninja Turtle wallpaper. My mom was good. My mom was awesome, honestly. Like, I don't know how I ended up so fucked up. My mom was good. So I wake up and, like, I have Ninja Turtle sheets, Ninja Turtle bunk beds, Ninja Turtle wallpaper.
So wait, she changed the sheets while you were sleeping?
She took me out of the room.
She moved you?
She moved me out of the
Holy
room
shit.
into her bedroom, put me in there so I just stayed asleep. Changed my entire fucking room, dude. The whole room. I mean, I woke up with the Ninja Turtle Nintendo game, the Ninja Turtle action figures in bed with me. Like, everything was Ninja Turtle. And I lost my fucking mind.
Was it a special occasion, or
it was Christmas?
Oh, okay. You might have said that.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I may not have. I'd just be talking.
It sounds like a great Christmas.
It was a very fucking cool Christmas.
So, how old were you when you... Okay, you must have said that because I already had this question in my mind. For some reason, I was going to ask you how old you were when you found out Santa wasn't real.
How old am I now? 42. Last year.
Oh, okay. How did you find out?
The movie Buddy the Elf.
How'd you take it?
I cried for days. No, I don't know when I found out.
Do you know how you found out?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
All right, we're going to fast forward to preteen, teenager.
Ooh, okay. So when I was in was it 7th grade going into 8th grade? I broke both my arms at the same time.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was hanging out with this kid. I came from like, we weren't wealthy, but we were like
middle class.
Upper middle class. We lived on a golf course. Like my parents.
In Jacksonville?
No, in Orlando.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah. Altamont Springs, really. So we were like upper middle class, not like fancy, but like I was like a good kid, right? Like I got good grades and I was like a nerdy kid, and I was hanging out with like a less fortunate kid that like smoked cigarettes and like was like kind of like what you would call like a ruffian before I was like a bad kid, right? And he was like, let's go hang out at the school. So we like went, we were hanging out at the school, and he's like, let's see if we could break into the cafeteria, and we were going to steal milk from the cafeteria. Well, the only way we could figure out to get in was to climb up on the roof to see if we could get access through the roof. Once we got up there, we realized we couldn't get into the fucking cafeteria, and we had to get down. So when I went to like jump off the edge of the roof, I like scooted all the way to the edge, and I like kind of like slid myself down, and the back of my shirt caught, and it like flipped me, and like I went to catch myself on the ground. I fell like 7 feet, broke both my arms, like my wrist and my hand disconnected, dude. Is nar.
I broke my arm in 7th grade.
Oh, so you know the struggle of not being able to jerk off when you desperately want to jerk off and have a broken arm.
I didn't break both of them.
Oh, well, they had to re-break my arm, my right arm, because I had been jerking it with my right arm, and I had messed up the way the bone had healed.
That's funny because they had to re-break mine too. I don't think it was for that reason, but
also, when you break both your arms at the same time and you're in middle school, you made fun of a lot, and your mom has to wipe your ass when you poop.
What happened if you had to poop while you're at school?
I didn't.
Okay.
I also did everything on tape recorders, and my mom had to bathe me. Like, it was a very humbling experience.
Oh, you didn't go to school?
No, I went to school, but like my mom had to bathe me. Like, I did all my schoolwork on tape recorders. Like, I had to do all my homework on tape recorders.
Oh, because you couldn't write.
Yeah, and when like computers weren't in school like that yet. Like, you had a computer lab, but you didn't have. Nope, not everybody had computers.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember the olden days?
Yes.
Back when I walked uphill in the snow, 2 miles.
I'm only 3 years younger than you, so.
Oh, you're old too, huh?
I mean, not yet. I got 2 more years.
You fucking piece of shit. Yeah, so that happened. That was my first. Okay, so also that's when I look back at it, that's kind of like when the first signs that I might become an addict appeared, because when they tried to put me under anesthesia, they had to go to my mom the first time, or when it was either when they were re-breaking my arm or the first time they were trying to set it. But they had to go to my mom, and they went to my mom and they were like, hey, we've given him enough anesthesia to knock out 3 grown men, and he's still talking to us. We know he can't feel any pain, but we're just going to go ahead and perform the surgery with him awake, because if we give him any more, we're afraid we might kill him.
So, when they re-broke your arm, did your cast look different?
Yeah, it was big and heavy. It was way more heavy.
Mine looked like my arm was like a U.
No, mine didn't.
They had to put me under too. They said I was coming to get my cast off, and they're like, "Oh well, it grew back wrong. Do it again."
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of how it went with me. But mine was huge. It was big.
I got to leave class early, like 10 minutes early.
Yeah, me too.
And I had to pick a friend to come with me. And
me too.
Yeah, that was cool because
that's how I met the girl I lost my virginity to, actually. Amanda Schumann.
Did she wipe your ass?
No, but she walked me to my next class. I think that's how we met. It was either that or she was new. So we were somehow we met because one of us was walking each other to class. I don't know. She may not even be alive anymore. Who knows? But
Amanda, if you're watching this,
Amanda Schumann from Teague Middle School,
Orlando. Okay, so
Altamont, Longwood area. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get into high school. We're in high school now.
right, so I was like a nerd, right? I was a fucking nerd. Not popular in middle school at all.
Did you do nerdy things, or were you just not popular? Like, did you like geeky stuff, or?
I didn't really like anything. I was just like.
You were just like there.
I just watched, like, I would come home from school and watch TV, like afternoon cartoons, and like. So I lived in North Carolina for a little bit. I've kind of missed a whole bunch, actually.
It's fine. It doesn't have.
Anyway, yeah. So, anyways, it was like just a nerdy kid, and like I hung out with the nerdy kids. I was not popular by any means. No one knew who I was. I went to high school and started playing football. This is the first time I play sports in Florida, and I'm at the time like a big kid, and like I've lost some of the baby weight. And I fucking dominate at football.
What position?
I was just strong side defensive tackle, but they wanted me to use. I started playing varsity like my freshman year of high school, and everybody fucking. It changed everything.
So you don't like football?
No, I don't. I liked playing it because it made me popular.
Okay.
But I'm not a violent guy, so like I always hated the violence of it.
Yeah.
Because it hurts. I know it's lame, but whatever. I'm not a violent guy.
I like watching it. I don't want to go play.
But it made me very popular, and I loved that. And it got me respect, and I really liked that because I was like scared of everything.
So what happened? Like you become popular, you maybe.
Then I started doing drugs.
There it is.
I literally, I make it another year maybe in high school, and then I get expelled.
So how old were you when you first experimented with something?
I was first time I got drunk, I was like 13.
Okay.
My stepdad's Italian. Alcohol has always been real heavy.
So that was my other question I meant to ask. Who's at home? Is there brothers and sisters?
Okay, so from 3 years old to third grade, my mom and Jim DePero are married. Jim DePero is my stepdad. We live in Altamont Springs, Florida. He's kind of verbally abusive to her. Like it's just not a like great relationship. They were young, whatever. I was a huge pain in the ass. My brother was a huge pain in the ass. So they're together from I'm the age of 3 till third grade. Then they get divorced. We moved to North Carolina from third grade till middle school. We live in Deep Gap, North Carolina. And it's just me, my mom, and my brother was in boarding school, and he eventually came to North Carolina. And my grandmother. Most of my life, it's me, my mom, and my grandma. So anyways, what is it? Right before I go into middle school, my mom and Jim rekindle their relationship and get remarried.
Round two.
So we come back to Florida. When I come back to Florida, I had to that's why I was like a nerd, because I didn't have any friends. I played sports in North Carolina, but when I came back to Florida for middle school, I was too big to play Pop Warner. I weighed too much. So they wouldn't let me play, so I couldn't do any sports in middle school. So when I got to high school, I could finally play sports again, and I was good at sports.
How old were you? You got expelled?
Yes.
That was the end of school?
No, I got expelled and sent to an alternative school, and then I fucking got out of that. They graduated me out of that alternative school way super fast, because it was a work at your own pace. And if you put me in an environment where if you do all the work, you don't have anything else to do, I'll just do all the work because I don't have anything else to do. You know what I mean? So I dominated that alternative school, and they told me I was most likely to succeed. And then they let me leave. And when they let me leave and they were going to let me go back to regular high school, I went back for 2 weeks, and then I dropped out and got my GED.
All right. So by that time, how old were you when you got your GED?
18.
What was Bobby doing? What was Bobby's life like at 18 years old?
A lot of drinking, a lot of Xanax, a lot of cocaine. When I was 19, I overdosed on Oxycontin, Xanax, and cocaine and went into a coma for 8 days. I've been in 2 8-day comas as an adult, one from a drug overdose and one from a head injury. I had enlisted in the military. I took the ASVAB. I scored like an 89 on the ASVAB, and they lost their fucking minds. And they're like, oh, you can do whatever you want. That's so high. And I was like, it doesn't seem like that high to me, but I guess it is for that test. And then
I don't know the scale.
I don't know how it works either, because I was like, it doesn't seem like I did that good. It was either 89 or 79. I don't know. I remember being like, that's not that good. And they were like, no, it's really good on this test. And then when I went into the coma, they wouldn't take me into the military anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
So that must have been disappointing.
I would have died.
In the military?
Yeah, for sure. Because I'd have gone to war, and I'm a big, huge target.
So yeah, this is right around the time of
Iraq.
Iraqi war. Yeah.
Because my brother was in Iraq when I went into that coma, and me and my brother have kind of like a rough relationship, because when I went into that coma, they were like certain I was gonna die. Like they told all my family I was gonna die, and like they were gonna read my last rites and all that fucking nonsense. And they got a hold of my brother. They had the Red Cross contact my brother, and they were like, your brother's gonna die, and they like shipped him back while he was over at war. When they shipped him back while he was back in the United States, his whole platoon got like annihilated. Like they all died. And he's like literally like, they're like, it's your fucking fault if I had been there. So it's like,
he probably would have died.
Yeah, he would have. But he thinks if he had been there, he would have stopped it from happening, because it was like an ambush or something.
I think they call that survivor's guilt.
Yeah, it's something. For
possibly.
Sure.
Dang.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So okay, that happens, and I imagine you have to.
Okay, so this is the first time I ever have any like real contact with God. I go into this coma, right, and I'm in this coma. I don't know what's going on. I think the memories I have of it is I was laying on a mattress, like a box spring that didn't have any padding on it. Like it was just the wire,
yes.
like the springs, right? Mm-hmm. And it was so hot. I remember being so hot that the wires were burning me and I couldn't get off of this bed. So hot. Like I was like, in my mind, I think I was going to hell. So I'm not a like real religious person. I didn't go to church at the time. My Aunt Kim gets in contact with this preacher, Pastor Eugene from City Church. And they get a whole congregation together, and they're all praying for me, right, at this church. And like this is like the day before they're gonna trach me and possibly have them read my last rites, because the trach might not work. While all these people are praying for me in the congregation, literally praying about me, I just wake up. Like a whole room of people are praying for me, and I just wake up out of this coma. Even though I'm like heavily medicated on paralytics, and there's no reason for me to wake up. They like tried to call my mom, and she didn't answer the phone because she was literally in that congregation praying for me. And wow. So, like, it's like a miracle that I woke up.
So, what'd you do after that? I imagine you were shocked for a little bit.
It was very shocking, because to me, I just went to sleep and woke up. I had that vague memory of the box spring thing. I thought I had been shot. And then I would probably say within a month I was drinking again, dude.
Did you wake up with a firm resolution not to drink?
I thought that I was going to like change my life.
Yeah, like the day after.
Yeah, it was going to be better.
I'm done
like,
drinking.
Yeah, this is it. I'm going to be better. Like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to fix my life. And no. I was a fully functioning alcoholic.
So what type of work are you doing? Are you working?
I'm a bartender.
At this time too?
Yeah.
So you've been a bartender.
almost 5 years now at this restaurant.
No, I mean back then.
Oh, back then?
I know you're a bartender now. I mean, I'm still going to ask about that.
I worked phone sales. Yeah.
So.
Yes, hello, this is Bob Jones with the Florida Association of State Troopers. How are you today?
Fine.
Great to hear that. The reason for the brief recorded call is to let you know the members of the Florida Association of State Troopers have kicked off their, well, it was like between 2002 and 2008, I think I did that. So it could have been any of those years, and every year it changed slightly.
Were you happy with your career, or was it just a job?
It was just a job, and you could smoke pot there and fucking get fucked up, and like if you fell asleep at your keyboard, they'd just send you home. You didn't get fired. Like, it was an impossible job to get fired from, as long as you showed up to work.
So, how did you end up in Jacksonville, Florida?
My Aunt Kim lives here, so everybody in my life has gave up on me. Everybody. All of them. All my family members stopped answering my phone calls, wouldn't send me money, nothing. The only person that kept answering my phone calls and like would drive across Florida to get my ass to detox was my Aunt Kim, who is my mom's actual best friend, not my aunt at all.
Okay.
And when she moved to Jacksonville, I was here like fucking 45 days later or something.
She's still here?
Yeah.
Where's your mom?
Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia.
Ooh, Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you moved here?
To Jacksonville?
Yeah.
I've only been in Jacksonville since 2015.
Well, it's 10 years.
Yeah. It is 10 years. Shit. But I was down south for like a year and a half, and I was also in Daytona for like 2 years. I absconded to down south because I had a warrant for my arrest here in Jacksonville, and my public defender told me he was only like some really low number, like 23% at trial success rate, and he really, even though what I was arrested for, the owner of the vehicle said I wasn't the guy that had taken his vehicle, and like that was on the statement, and I was like, well, I want to fight it because this guy's saying it wasn't me, so I'm not going to take the charge. He's like, no, I don't want to take it to trial. And I was like, well, I want to take it to trial. He's like, no, you should just plea out, because I'm like, I'm real bad at trial, and it's going to go bad. So
he said that?
Yeah. And I was like, I would like a different public defender, and he's like, you can't do that. Well, apparently, if you
can do that.
Well, you can run down south for a year and a half, and when you come back, they'll give you a new public defender.
I'm pretty sure there's a right for legal counsel or to change it.
Oh, I don't know.
But
he told me no, so I ran away.
What was the plea?
Well, it was grand theft auto and possession of paraphernalia, and he was like, you're looking at a year of county time, and I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to do that. I ended up getting 32 days.
Good deal.
Yeah, because of COVID. Thank you, COVID. Shout out to COVID. You're not real. Wait, don't say that. You're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
All right, COVID's real. It was just made in a lab in China, and
it still makes it real.
Whatever.
All right, so we're up to COVID time. I mean, I'm sure in between that and
there's so many things that have happened. We skipped so many things.
Yeah, probably like
multiple states.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all over Florida.
Were you running away from something?
Myself. So I would like ruin all the relationships. Like I've always been real good at making friends. Like it's easy for me to talk to people. Always has been. So it was easy for me to make friends, and it would usually take about 6 months to a year for me to ruin all of those relationships, for the people to realize that I was just a user and a manipulator, and like I didn't bring anything to the table whatsoever.
I remember hearing someone say something one time about you calling you needed money for work pants.
Oh yeah, I did work. I used to do work pants, pizza, ramen noodles. I was the master.
You didn't get much with ramen noodle money.
Doesn't matter. All I wanted was a 20, and I would literally hit up 100 different people on Facebook for $20, and I would get people would send me money all the time. It was crazy.
And Cash App.
Facebook, back when Facebook Messenger, when you first be able to send it that way. That was the way that I would get people to send it. I also a lot of Western Unions.
Some people like ask me for money now, and they don't even have Cash App. I'm like,
what do you want from me?
yeah, bro. Like, if you don't have Cash App, I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, I used to do Western Unions. The Walmart to Walmart. Yeah,
Did you ever actually get work pants?
Probably, but you can get work pants from Goodwill for $3. You don't need 20. Also, I can steal work pants, is what I would do. But I wanted $20 for drugs.
All right, so I know I met you around 2021, February-ish.
All right, yeah.
Where did you live at Alco House?
Okay, so what you're talking about when I relapsed the...
When I met, did you live at Alco House in 2021?
Okay, so my original sobriety date, February 14th, my sobriety date off of hard drugs, I was not living in a halfway house when I relapsed. I was living, me and Kim Black were roommates. Kim Black, shout out to Kim Black. We had met, we were in PPG together. I'd known her for several years, and we ended up, I just needed a roommate because I couldn't afford to live on my own yet. I was still serving tables and shit. And so she was my roommate. She had gone to Georgia to see her kid, and so no one was in the house. And I was like, I can have 1 pint of Tito's, and it will be fine. And I was like, you're not going to do any drugs. You're not. You're going to just drink this Tito's, and you're not going to go get heroin. You're not going to go get cocaine. You're not going to smoke meth. You're not going to do all these things, right? I had all these convictions, and I was like certain I was just going to drink this pint of vodka. And literally within 2 shots, not shots, because I just pour like a cup of vodka, and I'll have like a vodka and then like a chaser. Once I felt that warm, I had money in the bank, I had a car. I was like, I'm going to the trap. Literally, instantly, dude. Like, all the convictions gone. And I'm in Jacksonville. I have money. I know where the trap is. I live in Riverside. The trap's on McDuff. You know how far that is? 1.3 miles is how far it was to the trap that I wanted to go to. Because let's go. And I went to the trap, and then like 3 days later, spent a bunch of money. And I was like stuck in my room because I've been doing a lot of uppers. I was like, what the fuck has happened? You're going to lose everything again, dude. What are you doing? And I was like, how did this happen? And it clicked. I was like, fuck. It is the alcohol. Because I've always, the only reason I ever wanted to quit drinking was because I wanted to stop doing heroin and cocaine. I love drinking. Drinking was my shit, bro. I was good at it. Did it for years. You know what I was not good at? Doing heroin. Not good at it. But once that clicked, that if I drink, I'm gonna go do dope, it changed the game for me. But no, I wasn't living in Alco. I haven't lived in halfway since 2000. Right when the masks were starting to lift up. Right about then. So like right before that.
Yeah.
Is when I moved out of halfway. Because I just moved in with Kim Black, and Kim Black had me move into that place in Riverside with her, and I had moved out of halfway. I was living at not 4th Street, I was living at Home Away From Home. Okay. Over off of 8th. And that was literally just like, at the time, I forget who was running it, but it was some old guy. And it was just, it wasn't even a halfway house. You know what I mean? It was just like a place to sleep, and like, if I had wanted to get high, I could have easily been getting high the whole time. I could have been getting fucked up. It was just like it was just a room. Because I wasn't getting drug tested. I wasn't required to go to meetings. Like, I came and went as I wanted because I was serving tables and I was working late. And I was never there. I could have easily been getting high, but I wasn't. Because I wanted to stop.
Alright, so let's sum up your life.
Oh, you want to know what happened with that warrant, though?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I ran down south with Monica. Me and Monica, she, like, I told her what was going on and that I was going to jail. And she's like, just come here. So I, like, went down south, and it ended up going, it was real bad because I was on the run. Me and Monica's relationship was toxic as shit, and she knew I was a felon, and I was, like, I had a warrant. So I couldn't work. I couldn't, like, go anywhere. I didn't have a car. So anyways, I ended up just leaving Monica. Like, it got so bad that I just left one day when she wasn't there. Like, Stephanie Patton paid for me to get an Uber to the Greyhound bus station, and my Aunt Kim paid for me to get a Greyhound to Jacksonville. Come back to Jacksonville, go to 4th Street Service Center. You're familiar with 4th Street?
I am.
I reach out to Monica to let her know that I am okay and where I'm at, and surprisingly enough, the next morning, JSO picks me up on my warrant. Shocker.
And so this was when?
2020, 2021.
Okay.
Right around then. Yeah. And so I go to jail. It's right when the COVID outbreak happens in the Duval County Jail. And, like, they were letting anybody go that didn't have violent felonies.
Yeah, I went to jail a couple times in the year of 2020 also.
So, like, they had just done like a fucking 15-day lockdown. While I was in there, it happened. So, like, we were, like, in our rooms 24 hours a day for, like, 15 days in a row, only eating, like, bologna sandwiches, all 3 meals. Awful. It's, like, the worst time I've ever done in jail. 32 days go by. I've heard nothing. I don't know if I have who my public defender is or nothing. Nothing. I haven't heard anything from my attorney. They say, hey, Mr. Jones, you have a call. Your attorney's on the Polycom. You know, they announce everything. So, like, I go. I pick up the phone. Hello, Mr. Jones. This is some lady. I'm your new public defender. That worked. I bet. She goes, due to the COVID outbreak, they are willing to offer you time served, but unfortunately, you would have to take the felony. Well, I already have 3 felonies, so I literally, on the Polycom phone, I was like, put it on my tab, get me out. And I was out within, like, 24 hours. Got me another felony, but got out of jail.
So that was the Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
Let's talk about the other 3.
Grand Theft. All shoplifting.
Okay.
Because my hustle was boosting.
Yeah.
I stole shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. Not from people, but if you were a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a Walmart or a fucking... Yeah.
Who got you?
Walmart's got me a couple times. I think Winn-Dixie got me once.
Walmart, man. Well, I've had a similar run-in at Walmart, and it's pretty, when they get you, there ain't no getting out of it.
No.
They pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they do.
Lock the door.
Especially when you're out of your mind high. Like,
yeah,
wow, where did you come from?
I was like, one second I was walking out the store, next second I was in this little weird Walmart jail room. They were like, we know about the wallet. I said, what wallet? He pointed at the screen and there was a picture of me. Oh, I already forgot.
That wallet, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't need it.
All my felonies except for the most recent one were benzo related.
Yeah, this was same.
All of them. I would eat Xanax, and literally, like, I used to tell people, like, if you're high on Xanax, you will look a cop directly in his eye and put his cruiser in your pocket.
I got a DUI for Xanax one time. But this is, well, you could...
Yeah, when I interview you.
What I was going to say is, like, so from... Like, can you summarize your story from then? Like... Okay, actually. When do you get out of jail?
32 days after I got arrested.
And so, is this before or after February 14th, 2021?
It's gotta be the end of 2020 or the beginning of 21. I think it was probably the end of 2020.
And then you moved in with...
I had, like, when I relapsed at Kim's, I had, like, 6 months clean. So if you do the math, it would have been 6 months from the moment I went to jail to February. So it would have been, what, October-ish?
So what do you do when you get out of jail? Where do you go?
I think I went to Stephanie Patton's house for a couple days with Jen. Actually, Jen, I lived on their couch for 3 days.
Okay.
It's Stephanie and Jen's, and then they got me into Home Away from Home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I stayed with them for like 3 or 4 days, and after I left, they ended up finding a crack pipe under one of the couches somewhere, and they thought it was mine. And I was like, I don't even fucking smoke crack like that. Like, I do, but I shot crack. And I was like, I wouldn't have had a crack pipe. Like, if you'd have found a rig, that might have been mine. And then it ended up being somebody else's. It wasn't mine. Because they would let, like, a lot of people in recovery come stay. I won't name who it was, but it was somebody else.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be careful.
Stephanie Patton and
or aware.
Jen Howard, good people. Thanks for letting me stay on your couch. Shout out.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. You're familiar with Jen Howard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What up, girl? Shout out to you.
He's shouting. Shout. Let it all out.
When did you become a bartender?
All right, so I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 18, on and off.
Yeah.
I'm 42. I was really good. I'm real good at serving tables. I was really, really, really good at serving tables. I was really good at getting jobs. I wasn't very good at keeping them because I would like to show up to work drunk a lot.
Frowned upon.
Yeah, it's very frowned upon. But in the restaurant industry, it's like kind of like ignored. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're blatantly like intoxicated, they don't give a fuck. So I would get away with it for long periods of time.
I also worked in the restaurant industry, so I'm familiar with what you're saying.
And every time I would get promoted, when I would do good and they would make me a bartender, I would lose it within a week because I would get drunk behind the bar. And that happened many, many times throughout my history of the restaurant game. But I didn't become and stay a bartender until this last restaurant. But I've been there for, like I said, almost 5 years. So
what's that like? You know,
it's pretty cool
being a sober bartender.
It's actually really, really cool because I think I have no desire to drink, and like I know what's going on, and I don't know, it's just cool to have so much access to something that used to destroy my life and have no desire to want to drink it.
How does the drunk people make you feel?
I love it. I found this weird loophole where I can hang out at a bar and not be drunk all day and still hang out with drunk people. And I love it. Because, like, my regulars are the shit. You know what I mean? Like, some people make drinking look cool, and they can do it. And they're good at it. I wasn't good at it. Even when I say I was a successful alcoholic, I wasn't. I was a fucking full-blown drunk, you know what I mean? Like, I just paid my bills, and I had a dog, and, like, I had an apartment, and I was okay. It wasn't until I started doing heroin that I couldn't, like, live. You know what I mean? Like, I was homeless and shit. So, but even when I was drinking, I, like, was a sloppy drunk. Like, one of my regulars, Bob, is cool as shit. Like, comes in, has a couple beers, hangs out, fucking bullshits with all the staff, leaves, goes to work the next morning, and then you know what? He'll come in that night and have a couple beers, maybe 3 beers, bullshit with all the staff, go home, go to work.
I think that
the next morning.
We thought we were functioning and good at it, but I know for me, there was a lot of enabling involved.
Oh yeah.
And manipulation.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, it was awful.
And I probably deserved to have been fired way before it happened.
100%.
Well, what's life been like recently?
So, I'm not what you call a good AA person. I don't have like a great program. A lot of my program is based in the gym. I think AA saved my life, and I'm not going to fucking take that away from AA because, like, figuring out that alcohol was my problem was like a big deal. However, when I first did this in like from 2015 to 2017, I like was sponsoring dudes and like real in the program, right? And the 3 guys that I've only sponsored 3 guys, and all 3 of those guys are dead. So like, it kind of like, I don't know, it hurts, dude. You know, like so it like put me in a place where like I didn't really want to get too close to people, and I'm still kind of in that place. And like you have a great program. Like you work with newcomers. You like do the steps. You speak, like, and that all that impresses me. And I like love that about all my friends, because I have a lot of people. Thank God I'm surrounded by a lot of good recovery, because mine's shit. But somehow I'm doing okay. How's your recovery, Matthew?
That's good. This isn't my interviews.
I don't know if that's what you want to hear, but that's...
No, I won't want to hear anything. Just asking questions. I'm wondering... We hit record, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's lit up. That red button.
I sent you a message on here earlier saying, did we hit the record button? Because I didn't want to say it in the podcast.
Sorry, I was busy.
That's our style of it.
Well...
All right, we're going to end this with a fun segment.
Yes. I've responded.
I want to hear a story.
What kind of story do you want to hear?
Non-sober nights.
Oh.
Just pick one. Sounds like you might have a few.
There's so many. All right. This is one of my felony stories.
Oh, okay.
So I'm living in Richmond, Virginia. I have a chocolate lab named Walter, and I am
Walter Bear.
And I'm doing a lot of Xanax at the time. I'm dating this girl, Ashley. Me and Ashley had a very toxic relationship. We'd like to get drunk and do Xanax and fucking scream at each other. It's kind of our thing. It was one of the nights where we were doing this, and we got into like a real bad argument. Oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to tell what I was doing. Oops.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's all right.
So we get into a big fucking argument. I'm like, I need to get out of the house. So I get Walter and I start walking. Taking Walter on a little walk. And so anyways, like, I don't remember very much. What I do remember is I was getting into a vehicle which I believed was mine. And when I got into it, there was like a 17-year-old kid in it.
Whoops.
And this is at like 2 a.m. too. And it was like, so it wasn't my car.
Or your kid.
Or my kid. I loaded the dog in the car before I realized this 17-year-old's in the car. When I see him, I'm like, oh, this isn't my car. And I'm like, come on, Walter. And I get out of the car. The keys to my car fall out into this car. I continue walking. About like 20 minutes later, I'm surrounded by the police. And they ended up arresting me. They took Walter home because they were like, they really liked me. They really liked Walter. They said that when I got in the car, I left the keys in the ignition because I like got in the driver's seat.
The wrong keys.
Yeah, my keys to my car and their
Was it the same kind of car?
No, it wasn't. I don't even know. I had also put in some. I guess I had stolen some stuff on my walk, and I had put it into this person's car. So I caught a felony for breaking into that person's car that was occupied, and then the things that I had stolen and putting in their car. But I got let out on my own recognizance because they instead of taking my dog to the pound or anything, they took him back to my apartment complex. And I was like I'd walked like 2 miles away from my apartment complex. My car was at my apartment complex. So they dropped my dog off with Ashley, took me to jail.
What did they do with your keys?
I don't fucking remember. Probably gave them to Ashley. But anyway, so like, I didn't remember like any of it really. Like, I just woke up in jail and I was like, what did I do? And then they told me, and then like it came back like like a year later or something, and like the kid and all of it came back. I don't even know if it's me remembering or the police telling me what happened and like vague memories. But I remember just like fucking wandering and being like, where am I? And I just wandered away. It wasn't a very good story.
No, I mean, it's pretty good.
So.
That sucks that, like, you got charged on an accident. But that's what drinking and doing drugs can...
I had been stealing stuff, like...
Yeah, but I think the breaking into a car with a person in it was probably the worst, pretty severe charge of those.
Mm-hmm. I'm cheating.
Stay tuned after this break. Well, Bobby, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, man, it's kind of a long drive, but you know, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Come out and
play.
Talk to Matthew for a little bit.
Yeah. We're in Bobby's studio / house. Home studio.
Yeah, I hope this is my house. God damn it, I'm catching another charge today.
Yeah, what if I'm the 17-year-old?
Oh, who are you? Get out!
What are these dogs doing here? All right, well, that's it, man. I guess we're going to wrap this thing up.
Oh, man. I was very vulnerable.
Next time you get to
on
do
this
me.
podcast. Oh, yeah, I get to do you. Anyways, don't judge me. You're gonna, but whatever.
OurBad.
OurBad. If I said anything you don't like, I'm sure I'll say worse. Thanks.